Yeah, that'd be great. He might be able to do it.
Oh, great!
Well, he's not saying.
Test. 1 2 1 2.
We're here today We're here today as representatives of the LGBTQIA+ community, and we are protesting against the corporatisation of Pride and military flyovers of the Pride Parade. We disagree vehemently with these tactics, which we see as corporate pink-washing of our pride and our values.
Barclays, we don't want your dirty money!
Barclays, we don't want your dirty money!
Barclays,
We don't want your dirty money!
Barclays,
We don't want your dirty money!
Barclays!
We don't want your
Grassroots, lesbian, bi, trans, queer people who are protesting that Barclays is the biggest sponsor of the Pride March, and therefore they march at the front of our march, and we are protesting that, and people have tried to block them. But Pride London, which actually runs the Pride, have allowed them to go on the march and have accepted their sponsorship. So we are also protesting against the businessmen and women who are in Pride London. And we're going to go to different companies that are trying to take over our march, which is a protest march.
We are including in this pink washing the government, who often trade on our name. The Prime Minister has famously platformed on the lives of LGBTQI to justify sending troops to Iraq, while also trading arms to Saudi Arabia. We think that's filthy practice, so we will not stand for it.
Anyone else have
Please, no pinkwashing your profit. Please,
No pinkwashing your profit.
please,
No pinkwashing your profit.
please.
Pinkwashing your profit.
On that note, talking about original members of queer protests, that's how Pride started out. It was political, and it was to fight against oppression.
Please.
And it was to fight for sexual liberation, and not just for the queer community, but humanitarian rights for everybody in society.
Yes.
So we have here today an original member who fought in the time of Thatcher's government and major austerity, and here we are again today under an environment of severe cuts and austerity, where queer people are severely damaged by these cuts. Their services are being cut, their access to health, to funds, to quality of life is depleting.
So for people watching, passing by, wondering what we're doing, we're protesting because Barclays Bank is the biggest sponsor of lesbian, gay, bi, trans, queer Pride Plus. And we are protesting that. Pride was a march which started after the Stonewall riots, which was queer people fighting back, and many queer people were people of colour, young people of colour, Latino, of Afro-American people, people in the bars who fought back against police harassment and police arrest, which still continues to this day. And we are protesting against Barclays for all their massive profits, for buying their way into the Pride March, because they go to the front of the march, and because the Pride London, which is not us, it's the business group which runs the Pride March, have decided to take Barclays' dirty money and let them march to the front. And we, as many other queer people, are protesting that. You know, there should be a lot of other people marching in the front, grassroots campaigners, lesbians and gays support the minors, you know, people seeking asylum who are queer and getting deported, you know, single moms, and all different people who should be in the front, not Barclays Bank. We don't want corporate takeover of our marches. And another thing is that the Pride London Board has said that people who want to, organisations who want to march on Pride have to pay £50, which is disgusting. Some of us are from a group, Queer Stripe, we've never paid to go on the march, and we shouldn't have to, it's our march. So we're protesting against the corporatisation of our protest, Pride. And also, we want to highlight the massive inequality of wages in people who work in Barclays. We have here a placard, James Staley, the Barclays CEO, has an annual pay package of £8.24 million. That's an obscene amount of money. Whereas the Barclays cashier annual wage is $15,900 a year. So it's absolutely disgusting that the CEO of Barclays is getting this money, and they've bought their way into our Pride March.
And we don't want your dirty money. Barclays, we don't want your dirty money. Starbucks, we don't want your dirty money.
All right. The Gay Liberation Front started Gay Pride in London in 1972. That was 3 years after the original riot in the Stonewall Bar in New York, which started the Gay Liberation Front movement. The Gay Liberation Front was founded here in London in 1970, and by 1972 there were enough of us to form the first Gay Pride March. And that Gay Pride March has happened every year, and it's a symbol of our struggle, our protest, the way we've been treated by society, by the medical profession, by the church, by the government, and every year it's worked okay. We've organised it ourselves. It's grown and grown and grown until we had over 250,000 lesbian and gay people on the march at one time. 3 years ago, the committee who were running Pride lost control of it, and it was taken over by a rich Conservative man who worked under Cameron at 10 Downing Street.
Shame! Tory scum!
Tory scum have taken control of Pride. They're now charging money for people to go on Pride. They are they've invited Barclays and many other companies and to donate money to Pride, and of course that money comes with strings attached, and of course they want to clean up the image and pretend that gay life is now okay and we've nothing to complain about. That is simply not true. Gay kids are being bullied all the time in schools, and as the money goes down and life becomes tougher for all of us, people become more frightened, and so there's more homophobia and more attacks in gay people. They're increasing all the time, all over the country at the moment.
Chelsea Manning. Yeah, what about Chelsea Manning in prison for 35 years for exposing war crimes by the US government in Afghanistan, in Haiti, in Iraq, in many countries? What about Chelsea Manning, who's held in solitary confinement? What about Chelsea Manning? What about supporting Chelsea Manning instead? She has been fighting for all of us. And some of us from Queer Strike, we have joined international protests calling for her immediate release. We are against, and also people in San Francisco Pride protested against military recruitment there. And they shut down the military recruitment stall, which is fantastic, because people said we did not have a Pride March to be for the army to come in.
Yes, hello, my name is Ted, and it's good to see that after all these years we're still standing up for lesbian, gay, and transgender and transsexual pride. Along here, along Old Compton Street was one of the first places that we demonstrated for LGBT rights way back in the 1970s. And I have just received a text about the death of a guy called Alan Wakeman, who was one of the prominent members of LGBT and the Gay Liberation Front. We're scattering his ashes on the 28th of May. He did a lot of work for the gay campaign, and he himself, I'm sure, would be very proud to see that there are people still standing up and demanding that the gay pride movement remain as an active movement of pride and assertion and not a commercial proposition.
Citibank, we don't want your dirty money. Citibank, we don't want your dirty money. Citibank, we don't want your dirty money. Citibank, we